July, very exciting, lots going to go down, moving house in 2 weeks. Technically we pick up the keys in 2 weeks, we're not leaving this place until the end of July, but we'll probably move stuff over because it's only down the road. We'll be there by the time you see this. That's weird. I just watched, frankly, the best episode of television I think I've ever seen. Game of Thrones Series 6, Episode 9. I've done really well with Game of Thrones to not know things. Or if I have known of events, I've not known when they've come. So it's all kind of hit me. There was no element of me that saw that coming. How do I describe this? It was a scene that shouldn't have elicited the emotional response that it did. But at one point, I literally found myself crying. Not like out of sadness or out of despair. Just how astonishing that work of art was. I have never seen anything like it. It just has moved me. I thought I was ready. In Game of Thrones, you know episode 9 is going to be something. So I thought, you know, okay, I'm ready for that. I wasn't ready for that. From a technical standpoint, from a creative standpoint, from a performance standpoint, I've never known anything to elicit a response in me like Game of Thrones does, and that episode just... When I'm reading stories or I'm watching stories, I get emotional very easily. I have never been brought to tears, spontaneous, surprise tears, by astonishment at craft. It's absolutely gorgeous today. The weather is beautiful. There is a thunderstorm coming. There's a storm coming, Mr. Wayne. I don't even know if that's a reference. Sorry, Jack. So this is a bit of a race against time. I'm gonna go and look at housing stores because we're moving in 8 days, a week tomorrow. Jesus. So I'm gonna go get inspiration from really nice, expensive homeware stores in Chelsea and then figure out how I can do it on the cheap. Just went to one place where the sale price of a mirror was £1,500. I'm not rich enough to breathe in that place. I've given up. Thing is, you walk into these places and they just know that you can't afford this. And then, oh no, this is a cul-de-sac. Oh god, I don't belong in any. Look at these houses. They're all so colourful and posh. They know. They have staff there just sort of waiting for you as you walk in, and they go, do you need help at all? And you know what they're really thinking is, don't break anything because you would have to sell your kidney to fix it. One day I'm gonna buy that £1,500 mirror. But you know what, I won't. I could be A-list, Oscar-winning movie star, rolling in it, and I'd still shop at IKEA. I'll just stick with IKEA and Pretentious, mate. 4 in the morning, WWE Great Balls of Fire has just finished. I thought while I'm watching that tonight, I'll go through my books and see what I can get rid of. Be brutal, be brutal. Here are the books that I'm gonna get rid of. And here are the books I'm keeping. Jesus Christ. It's a funny thing with DVDs, because they're literally just things, and technology moves forward, and you can stream most of these things now. However, they're not just DVDs. They're not just a thing that I watch sometimes. Some of them I've been collecting since I was little. Like, I have the WWE Network now, but I can't get rid of this. This was video from my actual favourite wrestler ever, Lita. I must have watched this video at least 100 times. Like, you would watch it and then rewind it and I would watch it again. I can't get rid of that. And then here, I've got my friends' DVDs, which are like 7 or 8 years worth of saving up and birthdays and Christmases. I could get them on Blu-ray now and have them in super high def, but I can't bear to let these go because just like looking at this little package DVD thing, or that this is what box sets looked like in the early 2000s, it brings me back this wave of memories of being sick from school and just whipping out my DVDs and watching them, or having to tidy my room and just chucking on Friends and just binging over and over again. I'm happy to weed through movies that I've watched once and never will again, but some of these things just can't go anywhere. just sort of plonked you, so you're a bit wonky. Sorry about that. Today, we got the move-in date for our new house. This is a very exciting thing. Moving house is, as anyone who has had to move house will know, one of the most stressful things ever. It's just a lot. You look for the place, you put an offer in, the offer's rejected. You put another offer in another place and then that's rejected. And then you're like, well, we've got to find a new place and you're running out of time. And then when you do find a place and your offer gets accepted, there's a whole load of other stuff. There's referencing, there are fees. It's all very stressful. And especially when you have just left a full-time job and are starting out in self-employment, you don't have anyone to back you up and say, yes, this is this person's salary, or you don't even have previous where you can say, here is the money that I have made previously to show you that I'm in good financial standing. And then there's just the mere fact of the amount of rent you have to pay. Like when you're in a flat and you're paying the rent, it's fine. But when you look up front and you go X number of years paying X amount of money, Jesus. And there's no other choice. I have to rent if I want. I can't afford to buy a house. I like avocados too much. Basically, what you have seen already and what you are about to see is the frenetic excitement of moving into a place and subsequently building a new home. What you haven't seen are the sleepless nights and the general feeling of nausea in my stomach that for some reason it's not going to work out. I'm very much a worst case scenario person. Until I have the keys in my hand, it will go wrong. That's the way I approach things, and that's probably really unhealthy. But it's just the way I'm wired. I show up to airports 3 hours too early. I'd rather be bored in an airport than be paranoid on a tube, stuck desperately trying to get to the airport on time. With this, I've been like, what if X goes wrong? What if I don't have a plan B? But finally, we have an official move-in date. The contracts are being sent to us. We're meeting our landlord. It's happening. So now I can get to the exciting stress part. But when I watch this back, or when some people watch this and have that idea of, oh, I'm looking forward to moving house when I'm older, it's fucking dreadful. I'm really looking forward to living in this lovely flat with my best mate, 2 floors above 2 of my other best mates. I'll also be sad to not live with Kieran anymore. I won't be sad to not live with Kieran's belongings anymore. But since I've lived in London, I've lived with Kieran. That's gonna be a strange thing to not see him every day. Now that we have a date, I can actually pack. Because there was something about packing that felt like tempting fate. Putting stuff in boxes and sealing said boxes feels like that's an actual thing that's happening. So you best be sure. And now I'm sure. So, to work. Cue packing montage. So awful.
Is it that one?
No. Yeah, it was.
Don't be
Let it be noted that the girls downstairs both offered help. Let us know, they said. So I called them. Didn't fucking answer, did they?
You should do an intro like, and now everyone's living in my house. Cut to everyone's like.
Thanks for that.
I haven't vlogged in a while. Hey. Wait,
Oh,
no, I'm not done.
Great.
This is the
Why are
dairy
you
portion
filming
of the
this?
vlog.
Is that what we waited for?
Keep filming my face.
Well, I'm worried that it was. They were in the illusion.
I just went down the
What illusion?
Wire.
Not the what, like, you know, the big
Everything
green
funny
wire
to you,
on a big cylinder.
Are you nuts? I think we should just wrap that. Put your tongue out for just like a tiny bit. gonna really hurt.
Oh.
The movie.
I want to go take a picture by that picture fountain, please.
Okay.
Please. Oh my god.
Fuck.
Would you, sir, please? Sir, I'm just trying to walk. Leave me alone.
I want to get you on camera.
Please. I shan't do any interview.
So as I'm sure you're well aware, Summer in the City is due in a week. Due in a week, do we say?
Due in a week?
It's debuting in a week. Summer in the City's next weekend, sure. And they have sent some of us biscuits of ourselves. They're quite adorable, but something has happened. So I went to pick up the version of me, and I cut my own head off, which was a problem.
The head coming off was less funny than the rest of it.
Well, I then was like, well, I'll probably eat my head then. I had a lot of hair, and fondant icing is very sweet, so I thought I'll just take that bit of hair off. Here's my head, and here's me with no hair.
Karma. Have a good one. Thanks, girl.
Oh,
Sorry. I'm sorry.
great. Oh, we've got something already.
Hi.
I wasn't expecting that.
Jedwards, we've come out.
Yeah.
Where are we, please?
We're at Alton Towers.
Why are we at Alton Towers, please?
So, got an email from someone being like, do you want to come on and do some challenge, the Big Six challenge.
Cinnamon challenge.
The cinnamon challenge, where you got to have like...
The condom through the nose challenge.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
The ice bucket challenge.
Yeah, we've got the crave challenge.
The crave challenge. Fuck. That's not part of the rhyme, Stephen. This is vomiting into his mouth.
I'm up for the Boy Scout hike, which we're doing. Thanks, Josh.
In theory, at the end of this, we'll get to Nemesis. It's a shit shot. We're not going to use that shot. When I was about 7, I came to Alton Towers. That's the last time I came, and I was scared of roller coasters. My mum made me go on some, and then I fell in love with them.
Nemesis!
Yeah, right.
Sit back, it's night time!
Nemesis! Anyway, I was scared of rides, and then my mum made me go on them, and then I fell in love with rides, but I was too scared to go on Nemesis. I was into on Nemesis Inferno a billion, bajillion, cajillion, pavilion, shabadoodaloo times. But I've never been on the original. And now I'm about to go on the original. I'm just very excited about rides, alright? It was good.
On that ride, they all look upset.
Oh my god, you guys, I didn't do it.
Pressure in this environment.
So we're at
The
this...
stakes are high.
Oh, Jesus. So we're at this establishment where food arrives via a track.
I actually really like it.
Pull that roller coaster down.
It's a roller coaster.
They made so much effort into the system.
Alright.
These are all old school.
The cappuccino is fine, thank you.
Hello, Dan.
Can you imagine if the cappuccino came down?
Hope you liked Dan's video. Oh, here comes some food.
Our food is a roller coaster. Here comes Rose!
That's mine! That's my food!
Oh, I don't know. I took the VR off for a little bit.
Happy birthday, Evan!
You got the goddamn bear. This is another bottle of fucking water.
Are you happy?
It's time to swim in the pool. We've had a lot of sugar.
Breast stroke! Breast stroke! Swimming!
1, 2, and 3, and 4, and butterfly, and butterfly, and butterfly.
Hi, we're nude. We're doing swimming now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take this camera in there because that sounds foolish.
I mean, it would be a silly idea.
It's wet. This is not wet. But this is what it looks like. There are so many different things that we could do. So many different things that we could experience. There's a bucket. And now we're nude and wet. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was good fun.
Steven?
Excellent time.
Moving house is fucking stressful. It's so fucking stressful. But it's done now. we're in. Even after we got the keys, I felt a little bit shaky. I felt like, oh my god, was this the right decision? I had like buyer's remorse, buyer's guilt maybe even. Oh my god, was this too expensive? Have we made the right decision? What if it goes wrong? What if the sofas don't fit? What if the moving van arrives and it's not big enough? What if... Oh. Once we got everything in the moving van and the sofas were in the flat, literally it was like a weight lifted. More and more, as I was moving back and forth between this flat and the old flat felt like it was closing. It felt like, yeah, this home is ended now. It was really strange because that was a really happy home. So much life was lived under that roof. Like, relationships started in that house, relationships ended in that house. My life changed there. I feel like I've become braver. I feel like I've become older. And I know I have become older, but I feel like I've become more world-wise. The person who walked into that flat 2 years ago and the person who walked out last Friday are two different people. They're the same person, they're me, but like, just go with this metaphor, alright? And I feel overwhelmingly sure that this was the right decision. And I will make it work, and it will be alright. Because it has to.